Hi guys and girls, Taco here. I wanted to record an opener at the end of the video to just explain. This video might lack a little bit of energy compared to some of the other ones that you've seen. I know I'm not a super energetic person anyway. It's just been a long couple of weeks of work. I wanted to make sure I got you guys out a video. And I hope you guys enjoy what you're about to see. What's up, fuckers? Welcome back. We're back for another episode of whatever the hell we're calling this. Taco Truck. You can just call me Taco, that's fine. So, I got a request to do a chicken pad thai. I don't do a traditional chicken pad thai, and I'm definitely not doing a traditional one for this one because the person that asked if I could make it a little bit more mild than we normally would, which is fine. And we're going to make a very close approximation to chicken pad thai. It's going to be delicious. You're going to love it. A couple things before we get started. I want to give a shout out to my buddy Seth, also known as Zswiggs on Twitch, for showing my last video live on his stream. That was amazing. It got me a couple more followers, which is great, and I really appreciate that. Mr. Zswiggs, you're awesome. The person that asked me to do this is username is Acid Cat. And this is for you. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you're able to recreate it so that you can enjoy it with the minus the spice and all that other stuff. All that being said, with the pad thai tonight, we're going to be doing a chicken pad thai. We're going to do a shrimp pad thai, and we are going to do a carbohydrate-free pad thai because I have another friend who has recently undergone some health issues, and she has to limit her intake of carbohydrates. So I am trying to find a way to recreate recipes for her where the carbohydrates are no longer an issue. So for that dish, we're going to be making our own noodles out of zucchini and sauteing the vegetables. It's basically just a big ass thing of vegetables with some meat in it, but who fucking cares? She can eat it. It's going to be a close approximation, and that's good. So I was unable to find fish sauce for this recipe, so I'm going to make a recreation of fish sauce. It's not going to be exact, but who fucking cares? You're making this shit for yourself. You're not trying to impress anybody. Just do whatever you can. I live in the whitest state in America, so a lot of cultural foods I am unable to get, so I have to either bring them in from an outside source like Amazon, or I have to make them myself. So first thing we're going to do tonight is we're going to work on our vegetable prep to get that out of the way. The very first thing I'm going to do, though, is I want to garnish this dish at the end with sesame seeds, and I don't like to use sesame seeds straight out of the little container they come in because they just don't have a very good flavor. So we're going to toast these off. Toasting sesame seeds is super easy. Just lay them out on a sheet tray. Make sure you spread them out good. Don't put any oil on these. They're going to stick to the fucking pan, and you're never going to be able to get the damn things off. So I'm just going to take this and pop it in a 350-degree oven, and then we're going to move on. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to move on over to our vegetable prep. I started some of it off camera so I don't bore you guys too badly. But I've gotten a few comments on how much you guys love to watch me cut vegetables, so we're going to work on that next. So, we've got, tonight for our pad thai, we're going to do bok choy, which is a Chinese cabbage. It's a nice vegetable, very tasty. We're going to do carrots, we're going to do some bell peppers, green onions, cilantro, and mung bean sprouts. I'm not a fan of mung bean sprouts. I think they taste like shit. My wife, however, is a big fan of them, so we're going to use them. So, let's get started vegetable prep wise. First, we're going to matchstick out some carrots. We've got, I got some here, like I said, I already started. What you're going to do is you're going to peel these and take the ends off. Don't put any of that nasty shit in your food. The easiest way to matchstick out a carrot is we're going to put the carrot right in half, and you're going to slice it relatively thin into decent sized slices, and then we're just going to shred this bitch down with a knife. Break it down into a matchstick size. Cut these however you want. If you want to dice the fucking things, it's up to you. Like I said, I'm just here to show you a little bit of how to do it, and if you like a different way than I do, that's up to you. It's your choice, it's your food. You're the one that's got to fucking eat it. So we're going to do a few of these, and we're going to move on over to the peppers. And the other things that we got, whatever the fuck else I said. I don't even remember what the fuck I said now. Oh, let's see, I totally fucking missed that one. Alright. So there, we broke down a couple of carrots. I don't think I'm going to need that third one because I got quite a bit in the bowl already. And as you people know that have been watching these videos, I have a tendency to overdo shit just a little bit. So, done with the carrots. Alright, we're going to move on to our bell peppers now. I've got 4 different colored bell peppers because this dish is colorful. It should be bright. It should be beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're going to split our bell peppers in half. We're going to take all the seed pods out. And a lot of folks like to cut the top off the pepper and pull the whole pod out. You're wasting all this pepper up here. So unless the top of that pepper has got some nasty shit on it, or it's all beat the fuck up, leave it there. And just take your bell pepper, put your fingers right underneath there, and just pop the seed out. Peel out your little membranes right there, and you got a clean pepper. We'll get all that shit off the board in a second. Alright, so now we got all of our bell peppers cleaned out. We got them all hollowed out. We're just going to take the tops and the bottoms off. And you just take those, give them a nice slice through. Just real quick, break them down a little bit. You're not going to be able to matchstick them out like you did the carrots because of their shape. I mean, you could, but it's going to take some fucking time. And a lot of y'all don't have the time to do this shit. You just want fucking food and you want it quickly. So, and then you're going to go through and you're going to matchstick these just like you did the carrots. Just thin strips. You can call it julienne, you call it matchstick, whatever the fuck you want to call it. It's fucking cut. Just cut the goddamn vegetables. We're going to do that with all 4 of these peppers. And then we'll move on to something else in just a second. And watch your goddamn fingers. If you cut your goddamn finger off trying to do this just because you saw it on TV, you're a dumbass and it's your own fault. If I cut my fingers off doing this, shut the fuck up. So we've got most of our peppers done now. We're going to work on something else just a second. I'm not sure which yet, but we're going to do something. It's a lot of boring prep work, yes, but I mean, prep work goes into food. If you ain't willing to sit and watch a little bit of it, then turn the fucking video off. Oop, look, I missed that whole chunk right there. It's alright, we'll just take that out, then we can pick out the rest of that membrane. That membrane is just kind of chewy and it sogs out when you cook it, so we don't want all that shit in there. Alright, so that's all of our peppers. I guess we'll work on some green onions next. We'll get those banged out. So we got our carrots, we got our peppers. See, every fucking time I overdo something. This time it was the peppers. Luckily, camera wife Beck over there. Oh, I forgot to tell Beck to say hi. Say hi, Beck.
Hi.
And luckily, camera wife Beck over there will eat half of these before we even start cooking anything, so it works out great. Alright, so we'll do some green onions next. With green onions, the white parts are still part of the onion. They're still just as tasty. You get a little bit of that fucking rotten membrane off of there. Just the outside pieces, you know, bottom of the stems. The easy way to do a green onion, though, is just to roll that bottom rubber band all the way down to the parts you're not going to eat. Pull the top off. And you're going to just take off the top part of it, because you never know if any of these tops are a little beat up and kind of gross. You don't want that in there. So we're going to just take the top parts off of those, get rid of them. And then just you want to slice these kind of thin, but not terribly thin, because you don't want them to break down all the way. So we're just going to go through them. Not super thin, but you know, you can see decent sized little pieces. You go all the way down through the white part. Don't throw too much of that white part away. That bottom part where the little strings are, I don't really like to use that part for anything. You could just pop the ends off, cut them all the way down, but I'm not gonna, because fuck it. Oh shit, where to put my bowl at? Oh, there it is. You can see I did some of those earlier as well. And there is a lot of prep work to this dish, but it makes it worth it in the end. You can buy a lot of this stuff pre-cut if you're in a bigger city. And that's completely up to you, but then you lose all the fucking fun of cooking, which is the actual preparation parts. That's my favorite part. I don't know what your favorite part is. Probably the eating part, I would guess. But we're going to do up a few onions now for the same thing. I know y'all seen me dice onions before, and you're like, ooh, that's a nifty trick you do there. But this time, we're just trying for slices. We're not trying for dices, so you can take off both ends of the fucking onion. You don't need to leave them on there for the slice. It's just going to make it more difficult at the end. So take off both. Peel both sides. And then just take off the side end here so you don't end up with a weird shaped piece, or you don't end up with a big flat piece on this end. And then slice down through it. You want these kind of thin. You want them to cook up quick. You want them to kind of disappear in the rest of the ingredients. If you want big old chunks of onion in there, that's on you. Me, I'm trying to showcase the rest of the vegetables, so we're going to cut those down a little bit thinner. You don't need a terribly large amount, because you're going to have a lot of other vegetables in there, so, I mean, do whatever the fuck you want. You want a shit ton of onions, you want this to taste like fucking onion soup or some shit, go ahead, but I'm just going to do a couple small onions just to add that, accentuate some of the flavors from the onion, or the rest of the vegetables from with the onion. Make sure you get all the skins off there, because camera wife Beck will bitch if she finds one in her food. Won't you, camera wife Beck?
No.
Lies. Alright, so we got a couple onions there. We'll get those off the board, and we'll move on to our next trick. Now with this dish, I said we're going to use mung bean sprouts, and I fucking hate mung bean sprouts, but if you like mung bean sprouts, try not to buy them in a can. I buy mung bean sprouts in a bag. They're only a couple bucks, and you can wash them off, and they don't have that tinny shit taste that canned vegetables get. Canned vegetables are fucking horrific. The only time you should use a canned vegetable is if you're broke as fuck and you need something in your ramen. Then you get you a can of veg all, you throw that shit in there, and you chow down because it's delicious. Alright, so we got most of our vegetable prep done. We're going to do up some, get rid of these couple onions here. Well, I guess we'll do up our garlic next. Some of y'all have seen me do garlic before. I prefer to do garlic. I'm going to get a bigger knife. Hold on a second. This is the fucking Monster Chef knife right here. Alright, so you've seen me do garlic before. This is the easy way to do garlic. Put the garlic on there. Beat the fuck out of it. Smash it like it owes you fucking money. And this is with the skins on, because this is how we're going to take the skins off. It's also how we're going to cut it without fucking up our fingers. So just smash it. Start at the top of it. peel it back, and the skin should just fall pretty much right off. Sometimes they'll stick, so they make me look like an asshole on video, which is okay, because garlic's not my real dad anyway, so fuck them. Alright, or sometimes you beat shit out of it so hard it disintegrates before you even get a chance to peel it. Once you get that all separated from the skins, you're going to smash it again. Real good. Get it good and flat on the board. Beat it. And then just run your knife through it until it's the size that you prefer. I like my garlic to be a little chunkier because I like garlic. I like to get that bite from garlic. If you're a pussy and you don't like garlic, leave the garlic out. Actually, don't leave the garlic out. Just be a pussy and don't watch this video anymore. But you can mince it down to the size you want. You can make it big or small. You can make it fucking... Now it's starting to sound like Bob Ross. You can make a pretty happy little tree. Just cut it up the way you fucking want it. It's up to you. If you want to cut everything down small, you're trying to make something that'll fit a different size bowl or plate or whatever, it's up to you. Alright, so we got our garlic. We're going to do our bok choy next. Like I was saying, bok choy is just a Chinese cabbage. It's got a very similar flavor to cabbage. This has all been washed already. You want to go through and you want to pick out any shit spots in it. Like a slightly yellow leaf's not bad, but if that's any more yellow than that, get rid of it. Or you get the rip tear in there where it's all fucked up. Just get rid of that part. You hang on to the stem. The stem looks good. We're going to eat those too. Alright, so easy way to chop up some bok choy. You just roll them leaves underneath itself. And you want to slice these relatively thin. Oh, that nice guy's fucking sharp. And then we're just going to go through the leaves and come up the stems. And once we get up to the stems, we want to make our slices a little bit smaller so that the the whole surface area cooking thing we showed you in the last video. Go all the way down to the bottom because all that's edible right there. The only part you really don't want to eat is that fucking part right there because it's going to be hard as shit. It's grainy tasting. It's just not, it's not good. I don't want to get busted by Food Network for saying good eats in this fucking video. Alright, so we got that one. We're going to do another one or two. Do two at the same time, get it done quick. Except the ass ends are too fucking short. So again, make me look like an asshole on video. And I don't want to hear no shit from any of you hippies. Why aren't you composting those veggie ends? Because it's fall and I don't fucking care. Alright, so we got our Chinese cabbage done. We're going to do up this last little bit right here, I guess. And then we're going to start putting everything together. With them sesame seeds that we put in the oven, you want to only give them about 10-15 minutes in that oven. Do it any longer than that, they're going to turn into little black spots on the fucking tray. You just want them nice and toasty brown. You don't want them to overcook too much. Right. See how easy that was? Get rid of that shit. Put it in a bowl. Alright, so that should be the remainder of our vegetable prep. So now we're going to move over to, I'm going to clean this cutting board off. Or not this cutting board, but the counter. I'm going to pull out another cutting board. We're going to break down the chicken. And we're going to peel the shrimp. And we're going to get all that shit ready to start frying up. I was going to get rid of that cutting board, but we're going to do this first. So at the top of the video, I told you I had a friend that's got some health issues. And she can't have a lot of carbohydrates right now. So I'm going to show you guys how to make up some zucchini pasta, which is just thinly cut zucchini that you can use as a pasta. So you're going to take a zucchini, you're going to take off both ends. You want the biggest knife you can get. This isn't the biggest knife I have, but it's the best one for this job because I can get the entire zucchini at once. What you want to do is you want to take thin slices off the zucchini. Cut it down as thin as you can get it without it being, paper thin. And then we're going to slice down through and we're going to get these long, flat sheets of zucchini. All right, now that you got this broke down into long flat plates, we're going to cut it up into pasta sizes. So we're going to go with what my wife likes to call zucchini linguine. We're going to make these just squared off, kind of like a, forgot what the word was. Almost like a spaghetti noodle. All right. So you want to take your knife and just go down through this. Actually, I don't need this big old slobber knocker. And you want to take long, thin strips out of this, just like a pasta noodle. And cut them straight down through, nice and thin. You know, some of them might be a little bit thicker at the ends, but they're going to hold together pretty good. And we're going to do this up as our pasta for the carbohydrate, lower carbohydrate zucchini linguine. We're going to do that with all these zucchini. Well, we're going to do this with about 3 of these zucchinis because I'm eating regular pasta. I don't have a medical condition. And I'm fat and I like pasta because that's how fat people is, I guess. Go down through all of them. You can stack them up on top of one another if you want. I like to try to get them as thin as possible, so I do them one at a time because I can more easily focus where my knife point's going on one than I can on 2 or 3. You don't even have a machine that'll do this for you. They make little machines, but I have enough useless kitchen shit, so I don't need anything else. I don't need a spiralizer or freaking Vegetti or whatever the fuck they call them nowadays. I don't know. But so that right there, that's how we're gonna make up the zucchini noodles for this dish for the lower carbohydrate version. And I'm gonna show you how to make each one of these versions individually in different pans so that you can recreate them. A couple of them have the same shit in them, so we're gonna just show you how to throw the whole vegetable mix together with the sauce and everything else. It's gonna be great. You're gonna love it. If you don't, your fucking problem, not mine. So we'll see you back in a minute, and we're gonna move over probably to the stove and start sauteing shit up. All right, I'm warning y'all now. You're gonna see some weird cuts in this because I keep forgetting to do shit that I need to do before we move on to the next step. All right, so we're going to peel some ginger and matchstick out some ginger. I got a little bit here. A lot of folks like to dice ginger down because they're not huge fans of how powerful ginger is. I love ginger. If you put this on top of my head, my tongue would beat my brains out trying to get to it. So we're going to peel up a little bit more ginger here, and then we're going to matchstick it out. Now, before I even start, a lot of folks are going to peel this with a knife. And I know you just saw me do it with a spoon. This is the easiest way to peel fucking ginger. It's so much easier than trying to pull a knife out and fucking losing a finger trying to hold on to this little dinky thing. Lay it flat down on a board, take the flat edge of a spoon, and just drag it back across. The skin on ginger is so thin, it is just going to slide right off the outside of it. There's not going to be any knife work necessary whatsoever. You can pick it up for the side pieces, do the same thing. It'll even pop the little nubbins off. You just slide it right across the top of the ginger, and you lose all that skin right off there. See how easy that was? You can even use it to cut the end off. You know, spoon's just sharp enough. Just pop that end right off there. Alright, we'll get rid of them skins. And we're going to matchstick this down. So you want to find a flat end. If you don't have a flat end, make a flat end. Put a flat end on that fucking thing. So you're going to stand it up. You're going to thinly slice this ginger down in big wide slices, kind of like we're going to do with the zucchini noodles. Lay it down, just thin, wide slices. And then you're going to kind of keep them piled, and you're going to matchstick them out just like you did the carrots. You're going to make just thin strips of ginger. We're going to put a little bit of this in our sauce. We're going to put a little bit of it in our actual sauteed vegetables as we go through. So while I got you right here, before I cut on to a part I should have fucking done earlier, we're going to make our approximation of fish sauce. It is not an actual fish sauce per se. It has some of the same ingredients with a couple of my own added in. So when I can't find fish sauce, I like to make it with Oh shit, I forgot the blender piece. Hold on a second. Alright. So, when I can't find fish sauce, I like to make it this way. This is my favorite way to make a mock fish sauce. It's not going to taste like the real thing, hardly at all. So I got this little tiny blender right here. Inside this little tiny blender, we're going to put 2 cans of anchovy fillets. Just little tiny, motherfucker. Get you a little fork, pop these fuckers out of here. There you go. We're going to put 2 cans of anchovy fillet, because all fish sauce is fermented anchovy liquid. That's all it is. A lot of times anchovies come in oil. You don't want a lot of oil in this. So open your can and just pour off your oil. I do mine right into the trash can. If you like anchovies a lot, you can fucking dump that shit into a bowl, spread it on crackers or something later. We got 2 cans of anchovy fillet. That's no bones, there's no skins, none of that shit. Then we got some of this local shit here. This is just canned or bottled clam juice. It's not a twist top, but luckily I got this nifty little thing I got as a souvenir right here. Makes a great bottle opener. Now, to this we're going to add about half of this clam juice. You need a decent amount of liquid to break down that fish a little bit. To that we're going to add, oh, I hate these bullshit tops. Anybody else hate these bullshit tops? I'll pop that fucker right out of there. Get rid of that fucking thing. Alright. To that we're going to add about, I want to say about a half a tablespoon of soy sauce. This is actually tamari, which is soy sauce, but it's gluten-free, so there's no carbohydrates or anything in it. And you can use kikkoman or whatever the fuck you want to use. I'm using this purely for the one person I said I'm trying to keep carbohydrates down for. To that, we're going to add, oh, it's another one of these fucking lids. Get rid of that fucking thing. To that, we're going to add just a couple drops of sesame oil. And we're going to add a little bit of oyster flavored sauce. It's going to give it a little bump up of the fish flavor. This stuff's super thick, and you don't need much. It goes a long way. It's kind of sweet. You know, maybe a tablespoon or a teaspoon of that shit. All right, pop your top on. So as I have in past videos, I'm gonna warn you, if you have auditory issues, this is gonna get a little bit loud. And we're just gonna whip this up until it's a nice smooth sauce. Now, just a little behind the scenes, the reason I like this blender so much is you get smacked shit out of it when you use it. Alright. Now, you can see we got a nice smooth liquid. All that fish is ground up in there. It's not clear like traditional fish sauce, but it tastes pretty fucking close. That's what matters, is that we have that fish sauce flavor to it. So with that fish sauce, we are going to put together our sauce base that we're going to use in this dish. Because, you know, you can buy a jar of pad thai sauce. Do not buy a jar of pad thai sauce. It's fucking gross. It doesn't taste the same. It's just some weak approximation of pad thai sauce. I know that this isn't traditional pad thai, but I didn't mean it to be. So, anyway. We're going to add to this bowl here, we're going to add some of our fish sauce. Probably about half of what's here. And that's, if you're using regular fish sauce, that's a lot. We're going to add a couple more dashes of our sesame oil. To this, we are going to add some lime. Now, a lot of these recipes traditionally call for lime juice. I'm going to use lime zest and lime juice because I like the lime flavor. This is a microplane. You can get one of these for 15 bucks on Amazon. It's just hand shredded. Alright, so a little bit of lime zest. You don't want a lot of lime zest because it's powerful shit. And then we're going to take these limes, we're just going to kind of smush them down a little bit. Get them so that they're squeezable. Split this thing right in half. And just squeeze out about Oh, that one's pretty juicy. So we're going to do 2 limes into this. And if you roll as you squeeze, you get the most juice out of these fucking things. So we're going to do 1 more into the bowl. Oh, that was a little tougher. I guess I didn't roll that one as long. Alright, 2 limes. Alright, now to that we are going to add some more of this shit. This you use soy sauce. I prefer tamari. Well, most times for folks when I'm cooking gluten free, which this entire dish is going to be gluten free whether it has pasta in it or not. So add a fair amount of that soy sauce to it. Most of the bottle actually. And then just take a whip or a fork or whatever you got. Mix that shit all together. And that's your sauce that we're going to add to the pad thai as it cooks. So, now that we've done all that and I cut all this hodgepodge bullshit together where I fucked all the order up, we are going to come back, we're going to break down the chicken for the dish. We're going to peel the shrimp, and then we're going to go to the stove and start cooking. So we're having some technical difficulties with the camera. Camera wife Beck may have already had a bit too much to drink for this video.
No.
Alright, so off camera I had Beck peel up the shrimp for us because I didn't feel like doing it. So I got 2 pounds of tiger shrimp here. Just regular old extra large tiger shrimp. Bought it frozen, thawed it in the sink, popped the tails and the skins off. So we're going to break down the chicken for our pad thai. You want these in thin little strips. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a long knife, which you just saw a little bit ago, and we're going to break down or just split these right in half from the root. So go right down the center. Keep both halves as close together in the same size as you possibly can. Just split them right in half down the center. Some of these bigger ones, like this one, it's got kind of a knobby top, so we're just going to take that off first. And then we're going to split the rest of the breast down the center. We want small strips because they're going to cook up quicker. They're not going to take as fucking long, and it's already getting late, and I've already been at work today, so we're doing this shit quick. Alright, so we get these split down right in half. Got that little dinky fella, you want to break him down too, even though he's kind of smaller, he's still going to make some big old fat strips. Get rid of that knife, we're going to move back over to our little chef knife here. And you're going to take these now, and you're just going to break them down into strips. It's self-explanatory. Break the fucking chicken down into strips. You want them kind of small. Set them off to the side. I'm wearing gloves because I'm still going to wash my hands after, but I don't like chicken goop between my fucking fingers. It's like my least favorite feeling. I fucking hate it. So, we're going to split these. Just keep slicing these down. Now we're going to just keep breaking these down into small little strips. Watch your damn fingers. Don't cut nothing off. See, they're slippery. You fucking let go of that thing, you'll take a tip of a finger right off. I know, I've done it. It fucking sucks. You're going to get salmonella from the fucking chicken. See, I missed a bit. I showed y'all how to clean chicken breast in a different video. Obviously, I didn't learn a fucking lesson myself because I left a big old piece of fucking connective tissue on there. So we're just going to get rid of that and continue with the breakdown of these chicken breasts. Keep them thin. You don't have to do them as fast. You just take your time with it. Even the wider pieces, as long as you keep the strips thin enough, they're going to cook in the same amount of time as the rest of the stuff. It's going to be fine. Good sharp knife helps this process go a lot quicker. Alright, so there, break down your chicken breasts all set. And move these off to the side here. And then we are going to move over to the stove top. We're going to cook off the shrimp and the chicken. before we restart the video. We're not adding any special seasonings to the shrimp or the chicken. The sauce is going to have seasoning enough. So just cook them till they're done. You want to make sure your chicken's 165 degrees. You want to make sure your shrimp cook until they are no longer that color. You want them nice and pink, kind of whitish color when they're done. So we're going to do that. And we're going to come back to cooking off the vegetables and getting everything set up. All right, boys and girls. So we got through all the boring shit. We got through all the prep work. Unless you're into that kind of thing, I'm glad you enjoyed it. If not, just deal with it. So, we got our entire spread here in front of us. This is all the shit that's going in this dish. I am not going to make fresh rice noodles, okay? It's doable. It's very doable. But I ain't got that kind of time, okay? I don't know if you can tell by the look on my face, but I'm pretty tired. It's been a long couple of weeks of work. So, we're going to use these store-bought A Taste of Thai rice noodles. I bought the linguine style. I like a wide rice noodle for this dish. These wide rice noodles have more surface area. They're going to take on that sauce that we're going to put in there. They're going to be fantastic. Trust me, just use these fucking noodles. If you can't get these, the stringy rice ones are fine. It is what it is. But if you could get these, do, by all means. They're the best fucking option for this. So, if camera wipe Beck will pan down, you can see our plethora of shit in front of us here. We got our bean sprouts, we got our onions. These are our toasted sesame seeds that we did up. They're nice and brown. Got our garlic, we got our ginger, we got the zucchini that we're going to turn into noodles. This little plate of stuff right here is going to be garnished at the end. We got some fresh cilantro, we got some sliced limes, because nothing sets off a good pad thai like a squeeze of some fresh fucking lime. We got our green onions, our bok choy, our carrots, our peppers, and these are our cooked proteins. Look at them shrimp, ain't they pretty? Also, we got a jar of peanuts. Oh, this is YouTube, so we got a jar of peanuts. They're planters, they're unsalted, and they're roasted. We're gonna put these in the dish. They're fantastic. I fucking recommend it. They're just gorgeous. So, camera wife Beck and I are gonna head over to the stove, and we're gonna start putting this shit together for you, and we'll show you how it all comes together. All right, guys and girls, we're at the stove. We're going to start throwing this shit together. As you can see on the stove, I've got a pot of boiling water over in the corner. I have 2 frying pans because, once again, I made way too much shit, so we're going to try doing this in doubles. This ingenious idea right here was camera wife Beck. We buy gallons of oil here because we use it to cook with. She put it in a syrup bottle. It makes it much easier to manage. So, congrats, Beck. You did a good job. All right, so we got both of our burners set to high heat. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of cooking oil to each one. Yes, it seems like a lot, but you're putting a lot of vegetables in here. That oil is going to disappear rather quickly. To that, we are going to add about 1.5 teaspoons of sesame oil to each pan. It's going to give it a nice sesame flavor, and it's going to make it look and taste fantastic. So, to that, we're going to start with our hard vegetables first. We are going to go with our carrots. We're going to go in first. A handful of each. We'll put them in both. And our bell peppers. Because bell peppers and carrots are going to take the longest to cook out all this stuff. Handful of peppers. Handful of peppers. Pepper for the camera wife. We're all set. Alright, so we're going to start these cooking down. Get them, we just want to start them softening. You can hear them sizzling real good. I know in the last video the fucking bacon was really loud, so I hope this isn't as loud as that was. Now that we've got these starting to cook down, the next thing we're going to add is we're going to add our aromatics. We're going to add our ginger and our garlic to that. So we're going to go with a pinch of ginger. Fair amount of ginger. I like ginger. If you don't like ginger, you don't have to use that much. Ginger in this one. Toss it in there, smack it around. Call it your dirty little bitch if you want to. And then we're going to do the same thing with the garlic. Add a fingerful of each to that. You're going to start to smell that stuff cooking up right away. It's going to smell great. Not as easy to flip vegetables in a high-sided pan. Go fuck yourself. So, we've got our tongs here. And start moving this stuff around a little bit. You can see that the ones in this pan, they're already starting to brighten up a little bit. They're starting to cook down. You can see the carrots snap real nice. So now that that's doing that thing, we're going to move over to dropping in our onions into the pans, because these aren't going to take long to cook at all. None of this is going to take a whole lot of time to cook. So once you get the prep shit out of the way, the rest of the meal comes together rather quickly. On the back of the stove here, I've got a 28 cup pot with about 20 cups of boiling water in it. So we're going to cook our rice noodles in. We're also going to blanch our zucchini linguine in there just to soften it up some before we plate it. So just keep stirring this shit around. Make sure that it's all broke up nice. You can see that the onions are already starting to disappear into the dish itself, which is good. That's exactly what I want them to do. They're already starting to take on the color of the other vegetables, so you can barely see them. Hint, hint, my kids don't like onions. They're going to fucking eat them. They're going to love it. Alright, now that that's going, we're going to add our bok choy. You want to make sure you get an even amount of bok choy leaves and stems as best you can. As you can see, most of the stems are on this side, most of the leaves are on this side. So we're going to grab a handful of leaves, toss them in there, and then we're going to make sure we put about an equal amount of stems in there. It's going to add some textural differences, and it's going to be fucking great. Just listen. Do what I tell you. Be fine. Y'all can't smell this, but right now this whole house smells like ginger and garlic. It's fantastic. Now bok choy is going to wilt down, so even though that looks like a lot in the pan, that shit's going to go way down. It's going to get real small on you. Just going to keep sauteing that up. Get all them other vegetables blended in with it. There's a fucking show. What am I doing? Bam. Oh shit, I stole another tagline. I'm going to get sued by Emerald and Alton Brown. Holy shit. Alright. Again, high-sided pan, go fuck yourself. Alright. So, to that we're going to add our mung bean sprouts. We're going to add a small handful here. We're going to add a small handful here. Get that sauteed down with everything else. We're going to soften up a little bit. It's going to be delightful. You're going to love it. We're also going to add our green onions at this point. If you don't like a lot of onion, you don't have to add all this. It's totally up to your taste. I know some of y'all can't handle the acid or the spice of the onions too much. So I'm just giving you that disclaimer. You don't have to use it if you don't want to. Alright. So to this, once that cooks down, we're going to add some eggs. I heard some comments during the live showing of the last video on Mr. Zswiggs' channel. There's a couple people there confused how to crack an egg with one hand. I'm going to show you how to crack an egg with one hand. It's super simple, and once you get it right the first time, you'll get it right every time after that. So we're just going to let this cook down some more. You can see, look how pretty that is now. Look just how pretty that is. You got all them colors in there. You got your orange, you got your red, you got your yellow, you got your green, you got that little bit of white in there from the mung bean. Everything's in a nice little party together. More like an orgy, because I want to hump the shit out of it, man. It's a little hot though, so I'm not waiting until it cools off. Alright. So, we got this here. Now, I'm going to have camera wife Beck step forward a little bit so I can get in the refrigerator. She's going to keep an eye on you guys. And keep you guys' eyes on that pretty pan of sex juice right there. And I'm going to grab some eggs. Alrighty. So, camera wife Beck, keep you guys entertained with all them veggies. Perfect. Alright. You see they're starting to get some color now. This one is not as advanced as the other one, but it is what it is. We're going to work with it anyway. So, we're going to make a little pool in the center of all this right now. I want some bare steel. We're gonna get them vegetables up to the side. I got some eggs here. All right. I got some eggs here. We're gonna. I'm gonna show you how to crack an egg with one hand. Super simple. Okay. So, always use a flat surface. Never use the edge of the bowl, or you're gonna crack shells into your egg. You're gonna be chewing that crunchy shit all day long. So, the key to opening an egg in one hand is how you hold it. Okay. You want to hold it in 3 fingers. You're going to have these 2 fingers on this side, pull half the shell away, and this finger right here, pull the other half of the shell away. 3 fingers, tap once, grab the back side with your thumb and the front side with those other fingers, and just dump the egg right into the bowl. Same thing, tap once, using your middle finger to open it, use your thumb to pull the shell away, hold the rest of the shell with the rest of the egg. And then, once you get it down, it becomes a quick and simple process to just pop a single egg out all at once. Only one crack or you're threatening to put shells up in that shit and you're going to eat it and it's going to be fucking gross. So I'm going to get rid of these eggshells and be right back. I'm going to wash my hands because that egg jizzed all over me. Alright, so we got our color here now. I made that well in the center of the pan. Give it a quick stir and I'll do it again. So we're going to add just a small well in the center of the pan. And to that, I'm going to whip these eggs up real quick. Use a fork or whatever you got. I prefer to use a whisk. Helps break the yolks and the whites up evenly. We're going to break the yolks and the whites up evenly, dispersing them throughout so you don't just have big old pieces of white floating around in there. Alright, so again, we're going to go back in with a little bit of oil because you can see the bottom of that pan has no more oil in it. So we're going to add a little bit of oil, tiny bit more of the sesame oil because that's the flavor we're going with. Okay, and then we're going to take part of our eggs here, we're going to dump them right down in the center of that pan. I'm going to save a little bit for the other side. And now, you want to scramble them eggs right into them veggies. Get them all up in there. Make sure you cook them all the way through so you don't get anybody sick. Don't ever fucking get somebody sick. I don't want to hear you pissing and moaning, I killed my boyfriend with some eggs. If you're going to kill your boyfriend, do it because he's got his dick in somebody else. Don't do it because you fucking cook raw eggs in. Alright, so. Now, we got that all together. Our other pan's in about the same progress here. So we're going to do the same with this one. We're going to make that little well in the center. We're going to take our handy dandy syrup bottle full of oil. Drop a little bit of that in the center. Ding. A little bit of the sesame oil in the center. And add the rest of our eggs to that. At this point, reduce your heat some. Probably about halfway. My stove goes to 10. I was cooking on an 8. Now we're down to a 5. Alright. Alright, so now we got all this together. We got our eggs are all cooked up in this one. Ready to go. Our eggs are just about cooked in this one. So we're going to take that sauce we made earlier and we're going to add something to it. I don't like to add this right away because I don't like it to permeate the entire dish. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of rice vinegar. Just straight, whatever you can buy rice vinegar. You can see mine's Kikkoman, it's store-bought. So we're going to add just a couple tablespoons of that to the sauce. That's going to finish the sauce off. Now to these pans, we're going to start adding our proteins in and getting these shits whipped together. Okay? So, our eggs are all done in both pans. It's looking beautiful. It's looking like a big old mess, just like any Thai food should. So to this, in the big pan, I'm going to add the chicken to that. Okay? Most of the chicken. And then to the smaller pan, I'm going to add the shrimp. Yes, I put them both in the same pan to hold, but they were fully cooked. And I'm going to reheat them anyway, so it doesn't fucking matter. So. Now I'm going to eat one of them shrimp, because they look good. So, get this all mixed in. Get them playing together real nice. Alright, and I'm burning the shit out of the bottom of these pans. It's going to happen with pad thai. Unless you're fucking do this shit on a daily basis. It's going to be fine though. These are stainless steel pans. A little bit of water in the bottom of that. Put it over heat. Clean it right up for you. Alright, so now you got your protein all mixed into your veggies. You got your eggs in there. So now we're going to add our sauce. We're going to add a little more than half of this sauce to one and the rest to the other. We're just going to let that sit in that sauce for a minute and steam up. Get all that flavor through there. Make sure that every piece of that white chicken has started to turn tan from the color of that sauce. And mix it all up in there real pretty like. Do the same thing with the shrimp. And again, both proteins were cooked, so yes, I'm using the same spatula. I don't care. I ain't gonna kill nobody. I'm a professional. Get rid of these bowls out of the way here. We're just gonna let that sauce make everything settle together real nice. I'm not gonna toss that because camera wife Beck's too close. She's gonna get burned in the face, then she's gonna kick my ass. Alright, so it looks like a bit of a mess, but this ain't a fucking restaurant. I'm not trying to make this for prettiness. I'm trying to make it so you can fucking eat it. So just eat it. Shut up. Alright, now that we got all that shit together, this is where we add the nuts. We're gonna add, you know, about half a cup of nuts. Roughly. So this one. We're gonna add a little bit to this one. Okay. Gonna add a nice crunch to the whole thing. And then, if I can find my goddamn crushed red pepper. Nope. Hold on a second, folks. The camera might get a little jumpy. Where the fuck is the crushed red pepper?
It should be up there on the second shelf.
Who fucking knows? I don't know where it is. Powder. Oh, here we go. I found the crushed red pepper. Alright, so this one I'm making for user Acid Cat. So it's going to stay nice and mild just the way it is. This one right here, however, we're going to spice it up just a little bit with some crushed red pepper. It's not going to be overly spicy. It is going to have a kick to it though. But user Acid Cat cannot have spice, as it does not agree with her. So we are going to do this one mild and that one not as mild. Alright, so we have both our proteins and our vegetables cooked off. A lot of folks would saute these in with the noodles. We're going to put them on top, just because. So we're going to cook the noodles, we're going to blanch off our zucchini linguine, and then we're going to come back and show you all how to plate. See you in a second. Alright fuckers, we're at everybody's favorite part. It's time to plate this shit up. So we're going to start with Miss Acid Cat. We're going to do our mild chicken. Then we're going to go into our slightly spicy shrimp. And last but not least, our carbohydrate free with the zucchini linguine. So we're going to start this with our rice noodles. We cooked our rice noodles about 6 minutes. Put a little bit of sesame oil in there to keep the noodles loose. So we're going to put a pile of those just in the center of the plate here. Like so. We're going to take our delicious, mild pad thai. We're going to lay that right over the top like so. We're going to take a little bit of them green onions that we had left over on top of that. We're going to take some of our sesame seeds on top of that. A little bit of cilantro and a wedge of lime. And that is your mild chicken pad thai. See how beautiful that looks? You can make it at home. It is not spicy at all. And there's very little bit to upset a stomach in there. So next, we're going to do my personal favorite. We're going to do our shrimp pad thai. This is the same setup as the other one, Oh, stop throwing fucking noodles all over the counter, I guess. They're sticky as shit. Alright, so we've got our shrimp here. It's all beautiful, just like the chicken was. You get a big old spoonful of that. Make sure we get plenty of protein bits in there. Definitely got to have shrimp or it ain't shrimp pad thai, am I right? So, put that in the center. Keep all our little bits intact here. Little shrimp falling everywhere. Same thing, a little bit of green onion on top. A little bit of sesame seed on that. I'm going to go with a bit of cilantro and a lime wedge. So there you have our slightly spicy shrimp pad thai. And as I said, last but not least, we have our zucchini linguine. This is our zucchini linguine. All I did was take that and blanch it in water for about 45 seconds. It's not enough to cook it all the way through, so it's going to have a nice bite to it. But it's also just soft enough that it gives you the real feel of pasta. So it's got a nice little bite like a good al dente pasta. All right, and for my friend with the carb allergy, she is eclectic, so we're going to do a little bit of both on this. We're going to do a little bit of our chicken. We're going to do a little bit of our shrimp. There's no shrimp in that fucking spoonful, so we'll do a couple more shrimp on there. And then we're going to do the same as the other ones, a little bit of green onion, a little bit of sesame seed, some cilantro, and a wedge of lime. And that is our pad thai 3 ways, including a mild, a spicy, and a carbohydrate free. All right, folks, so that's the end. We've got our plates in front of us here. Camera Beck can scroll down for you a second so we can check them out again, just to see how pretty they were. And that's the end of the video. We got another one pumped out for you. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will put all my social links in here. I'll put my Discord where you can message me directly for access to my Discord server. I will put my link to my Twitch account, which eventually, like I've said a million times, we are going to do a couple live streams of cooking videos. And I will get you a link to my Twitter account so you can get a hold of me there if you have any ideas for video or anything else, really. You can contact me for whatever. If I don't like what you have to say, I'll tell you to go fuck yourself, and it'll be a great day for both of us. Again, I want to thank Zswiggs, aka Seth, for last week posting the video up for everybody to see. Zswiggs is a family-friendly streamer who streams 5 days a week, and at night he watches shit like this. So take from that what you will. I hope you guys enjoy this dish. If you do, great. If you don't, not my loss. And enjoy.